As the pandemic continues, drug overdoses across the country are claiming more lives again. Drug use dropped in 2018, giving some hope, but according to addiction awareness advocates, the number of overdoses began rising before COVID. They say the combination of pandemic isolation and the stress of so much loss in the world is further leading to a reliance on drugs. And that in turn is ending lives too soon. Local 5 anchor Samantha Mesa spoke with a family who lost their son to an overdose. They hope to help others survive addiction and find recovery in healing.
He had a full-time job, had a brand new car, had a girlfriend he was actually going to propose to that summer, and had been with her for almost 3 years at that point. So he wasn't a typical junkie on the streets.
Jordan Prophet was 21, on the cusp of creating his own life.
He was clean 2.5 years.
His parents say they almost lost him when he'd shot up years before.
We all rushed up to Methodist Hospital, of course, and when he came to, he just cried, sobbing, "Mom, I'm so sorry. I promise you, I promise I will never do this again."
But they did go through it again. One last time. His father found him unconscious in their basement after a fentanyl overdose. His other son, frantic.
Came rushing back upstairs, my other son, and said, "Dad, I can't do this anymore, he's down." Immediately rushing downstairs and seeing his lifeless body, and just immediately my protective instincts was, get to him. He was face down, and when I turned him over, as sad as this may be, I already knew he was gone. I tried to revive him. He, like I said, there was at one point that I thought he was grasping for air, and I stopped and I leaned down to hear it, and nothing. It was nothing, and kept on going until the paramedics got there. They announced him dead at our home.
Jordan was turning to drugs, numbing the stresses and pains of life, a path specialists say many experience. And today his parents' hearts are heavy. Looking back, they recall he was going through a lot of loss during that time, and drugs became a form of self-medicating.
Jordan and his friends started off of marijuana, and it went to pill prescriptions, and it just went to what's going to be the next high.
Before his deadly overdose, he was sober almost 3 years. The turning point, losing his best friend in 2016.
He was the first one of the group of friends to go. And we should have, and I regret this, we should have kept a closer eye on him. I just had blinders on.
His mother, Diane Prophet, says that loss of friendship wore down Jordan's spirit.
We knew he was going through a lot. He just didn't know how to process it. And he went back to what he knew would take away the pain, take away the memories for that little bit of time. And it took him that night. That night, the dose that he had, that heroin was laced with carfentanil, which is an elephant tranquilizer. He went right away. He wanted kids, he wanted a wife, he wanted everything out of this world.
Jeremiah Lindman also knows this pain. He lost his brother to overdose.
He was extremely charismatic and charming personality, would just light up the room, full of smiles.
After losing his brother, Lindman then heard from a mother who lost her son to drugs. She wanted to celebrate their loved ones' lives, so he launched a map that tracks overdoses nationwide in the hope to prevent more lives from being lost.
There's still so much stigma of us, what a druggie is or what a junkie is.
His goal for the map is to break the stigma and to show who people were before spiraling into addiction. Lindman believes pain medication can become a crutch dealing with life stressors for anyone. As stigma further buries this hidden disease.
The stigma has kept people from going out to treatment. It is an issue. Treatment does work and recovery works, and showing compassion, to help people get there, I think will go a ways.
Now he understands there is no quick fix.
I don't have all the answers. I don't think anyone does, unfortunately, right now. I think we're still working very reactive. Pain can be defined so many different ways. And, pain for other people is a lot of the mental issues and stuff that are going on in our society. And I think that's you have COVID and all sorts of issues that have been going on the last couple of years. It's just it's a bad mix right now.
Jordan's father agrees and believes the pandemic is making mental health challenges worse.
Because I feel that with the pandemic and just everything that came with it, losing human interaction, not being able to do the things that they were used to, they're leading towards that gateway, that way to soothe themselves. And I feel that just with the stresses of it, workplace, everything happening with our lives right now, they don't know how to process pain like that. And what better way than to shoot up and forget about it for a while.
Jordan's family and Lindman say this is not about a war on drugs. Rather, compassion is key.
Just be there for them. You can't change them. They have to make that step. But be there and listen to them. Try to reach out and get help for them.
And they want folks to understand addiction can happen to anyone and to acknowledge if someone is using, compassion could save their life. Today, all Diane has of Jordan is memories and a locket with his ashes.
He left behind 3 siblings that are really struggling right now. I mean, they both went through graduations without their big brother, and so many milestones that their big brother's not going to be there for. Not to mention that I'm missing out on what my son would have been. He had a home life, he lived in Urbandale, but everybody needs to remember, this is everywhere. This is in Johnston, this is in West Des Moines, this is in Urbandale, this is in Waukee. This could be your neighbor 2 doors down that you don't know is going through this.
And that was Samantha Mesa reporting. If you are struggling with addiction or know someone who is, there are people ready to support you to recovery. We have that information at weareiowa.com. As for the overdose website, the National Safety Council is interested in collaborating with Lindman to create more educational resources aimed at saving more lives.